And welcome to your final lesson of the Quick Focus Blueprint program. And I want to congratulate you. I want to give you a big pat on the back. You should give yourself a pat on the back because you did it. Not many people finish, and you are a finisher and you're a completer. I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. And the fact that you're listening to my voice right now means you have what it takes to not only accomplish your dreams, but to get things done the way that you want to do it. So you could have greater levels of productivity, performance, and peace of mind because you're a completer. And so thank you so much for showing up the way that you showed up. And just take a breath right now and just appreciate and honor how far you've come, right? And so knowing all the tools and all the training that you've had, what I want to finish with here is I want to share with you the 6 levels of transformation, and it directly affects your focus. Why don't some people really make a transformation? Why don't some people transcend or end the trance that they don't have better focus? And so there are 6 things. They're 5 levels, but 6 things because I put 2 of them together. And what we're really talking about when we talk about focus a lot of times is we're talking about the behavior. Okay. And so I want you to think about this and take notes if you can, because this could be the most profound insight, distinction that you have in this entire program. And for some of you who apply this towards your business and apply this towards your life, this lesson alone could be worth the 30 days and the investment in this program. And I'm not even understating that. And so if you are a parent or you are a coach or you're in any way responsible for another human being where you're managing them, or at the very least, you're managing your own self, you need to understand these levels. Okay, so let's take the level of behavior. Okay, the level of behavior. When I talk about focus, for a lot of what people believe it is, it's the level of behavior. It's something that you do, right? We talked about it, that focus is a verb, that it's not something you have, it's a process, something that you do. And so that's the behavior. You focus. And so you focus while you read. You focus remembering names. You focus on your things that you need to do, the things that are most important. You focus on sleep. You focus on stress management. You focus in your relationships. All the wonderful content that we covered in this program. So that's the behavior. Now, other behaviors, just so you could extrapolate this, is, let's say, remembering names or reading more. Let's say somebody wants to remember people's names. That's the behavior, remembering a name, okay? And so that's usually where people try to address it. But if that behavior doesn't stick, and the reason I'm bringing this up is when I say this is just the beginning, is this, we want to see what could go wrong in the future for you. Like if you went through this program and you learned a bunch, but you're not applying it, why aren't you applying it? Or if you're teaching this or something else to your children or to your coworkers or to one of your coaching clients, why aren't they making the change? So for example, maybe the behavior could be stop smoking, right? Maybe the behavior is to read 30 minutes a day. Maybe the behavior is to meditate 20 minutes a day. Maybe the behavior is to journal. So why don't people consistently execute on that behavior? Well, right above the behavior level is this level called capabilities. Capabilities. And again, we're talking about the logical levels of transformation. Above the behavior, when you were thinking about capabilities, these are your abilities. These are your skills. These, in other words, are your habits. And so this is the real process where something that you do is like, okay, you read. And the capabilities are the training that you've had to speed read, the training you've had to remember someone's name, the training you've had to focus, like you've gone through this program. So those are your habits, those are your capabilities. Above that level is this level called belief and values. I'm going to put 2 things there, belief and values, because they're different. And the reason why I put that there is somebody could want to do the behaviors of focus. Let's say focus on remembering names, but they might not have the capability because they didn't have the training and they haven't developed the habit, and that's why they're not focusing on remembering names. But let's say they have the capabilities, they've learned it, they've had the training, but the level above that is called beliefs and values. Maybe they believe even though they've learned the skill and the capabilities and they know what the behavior is, they believe they can't do it. They believe that it's not important. Or a value could be exactly that. A value could be, no, I really don't care about people. And so is that person going to remember someone's name? No, because they don't value it. So let's say you're trying to get somebody to meditate and they believe they can't meditate, even if they have the capability, like they've been trained. Maybe they believe it's impossible for them. Maybe they believe they're too old, or they believe they didn't have the education, or they believe it's not in their biology or whatever. Or maybe they don't value it. Does that make sense? Like maybe they don't value that calmness. Maybe they don't value that peace of mind. Maybe they don't value being mindful. And so is that behavior going to stick? The answer is no, because it's not aligned, right? Even if you have the capabilities, they might even have the belief that they could meditate, but if they don't value it, then people put it off and they procrastinate. So there's an incongruency, there's not an alignment, so the change doesn't stick. That's why I'm talking about levels of transformation or levels of change. And so my goal for you is when you leave this program that you're going to do it consistently. But I want you to build this self-awareness to look at your various levels and understand how you operate. The top level, so we've gone from behavior. Above that is capabilities. Above capabilities are your belief and values. What's above that is your identity. Your identity. Your identity is who you think you are. And usually the most powerful two words that are the shortest words in the English language are I am. I am. Because whatever you put after those two little words, it's going to determine who you are. And so some people, for example, their behavior is they want to stop smoking. And maybe they have the capabilities to be able to do it. Maybe they value it also. But their identity is, I am a smoker. Is that behavior going to stick? Are they going to continue to smoke? Yes, because their identity says they are a smoker. And then finally, the last level, we're actually putting it below the level of behavior, and that's your environment, because does that play an important role in your behavior? Of course it does. If somebody says their behavior is they want to be a non-smoker and they do not want to smoke, if their environment is full of people who smoke, then that's going to be a problem. We talked about in this lesson, one of the lessons was developing a positive peer group. And we discovered that it's not just your biological networks or your neurological networks that determine your focus or whether you smoke or something like that. It's really the people you spend time with, because if your friends smoke, then that's going to have an impact on your lifestyle also as well. Environment. And so, for example, let's say the behavior is people want to read or speed read, and they have the capabilities, they have the identity, they have the beliefs, and even the values. But the environment, let's say they're in a dark room, they're not going to be able to read. Maybe their environment is they don't have access to books for whatever reason. Let's say they're on a plane and they don't have anything to read. And so that limits them. And we talked a lot about environment in this program, right? We talked about the power of a clean environment for focus. We talked about the time of day. And so really, actually, if you look at these 5 levels, there's 6 elements, but 5 levels. If you look at them, the identity level is the who. Remember we talked about the power of questions in this program, the power of questions and how questions really dictate your focus. Because ask and you shall receive, that your reticular activating system helps to know what your target is based on the questions that you have. And back in school, you know that there are 5 W's and 1 H. And notice the correlation here. When I say your identity, that answers the question who. Who. When we talk about beliefs and values, that talks about the question of why, right? Why. The power of why. Those are your values and your beliefs. After that, when we talk about capabilities, that answers the question, how? Those are the skills. Those are the processes. That comes down to the training. That answers the question, how? And we talk about behavior, that answers the question, what? Like, what is the behavior? The behavior is to focus. The behavior is to remember names. The behavior is to read faster. The behavior is to journal. The behavior is to meditate. The behavior is to make a brain power focus smoothie. That's the behavior that answers the what. And then finally, the environment level, that answers the question of where and when. Where and when, because that makes a difference. We even talked about the power of when. That was one of the lessons that we had with Dr. Michael Bruce and the power of chronotypes. And it's not just what you do or how you do it or why you do it, it's when you do it, depending on your body type. And so this comes full circle. What we're ending with here are the 6 different areas, and really 5 levels, if you will. There's 6 different areas, 5 levels of transformation. And the transformation that we've made over the past 30 days is that around your focus, that around your concentration. And so what I want you to do right now is in the comments, in what area, logical level here, whether it's your identity or your beliefs or your values, your capabilities, the behavior, or the environment, which one do you feel like is holding you back? Which one do you feel like is holding you back? And then once you have identified that, go back in these programs, and when you go through the lessons and let's address it. So if you have something where you have negative self-talk around an identity or limiting belief, then you could go back. You remember the ABRA technique? You know, when you have a negative talk or saying a negative belief inside yourself, you remember that? Where you acknowledge it and then you breathe into it and then you release it and then you align back to your true self, back to what your goal really is. Maybe it's not that level of identity or beliefs, but maybe it has to do with values, and you reevaluate the lesson that we talked about, the power of motivation. The power of motivation, because motivation all revolves around what's most important to you, which are your values. And if you go to the level of capabilities, that's your level of training. And how much training did we go through in this program? There were so many lessons, practical how-tos, how to go to sleep, how to focus while you read, how to improve your memory, how to be more productive, how to set your priorities. Those are your capabilities. And remember, the behavior level is that of focus. Whatever your goal was, your big focus goal. Remember, we did the whole GPA in the beginning. Whatever that is, reevaluate that and say, is that still my goal? And am I getting closer to my big focus goal? And remember going back to the first lesson and talking about GPA and setting goals, and not just setting goals, but that's how you're getting goals. So that's your behavior. And then finally, look at the level of your environment. And now, if you want to really set your environment up, revisit the lesson about having a clean environment. Revisit the lesson about who you're spending time with. Reevaluate the lessons on chronotypes. And so everything falls into these levels of transformation because we wanted to make it very complete. You know, everything from what you put in your body to your mindset, to your training, to the people you spend time with, to the various applications where you're applying focus in your everyday life. And so what I want you to do is in the comments section, I want you to please do 2 things. Identify the level that you feel is holding you back, and also, if you're willing, your 3 biggest takeaways in this program, and put it down below. If you're keeping a focus journal, there's a lot, and I know you have a lot of information. You probably have pages and pages and pages of notes. Go through all of them and circle the 3 biggest ahas and what you're really going to focus on tomorrow. Because here's the thing, you can't accomplish what you're here to do without focus. It is the centerpiece. It is the target. You can't hit a target that you can't see. So focus is everything. And remember what focus really stands for. FOCUS. Follow on course until successful. You never give up on the things that you believe in. I want to thank you so much for following through on this program, following through on 30 amazing days. I can't believe a month went by together. And the best part about this is you could go back, that we have granted you lifetime access to this. And so this is not the end, that this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of your superhero mind, your superhero focus, where you could be able to apply this to be able to accomplish anything that you desire and that you really deserve. Thank you for allowing me to be your focus coach. And until next time, I wish your days be full of lots of life, lots of love, lots of laughter, and always lots of learning. Take care.